No nonsense, just go straight to the practical information. These are the Tower of Fantasy Hidden Mission Time Traveler series. All the notebook locations. Missions need to be triggered sequentially. The last issue has interpreted from 1.1 to 1.3 slot. In this issue, we continue with the following section. Come to shelter HT201. Can trigger 1.4 mission. Note that the notes here do not record Hello, who appeared on our mission, but refers to a little girl from many years ago. The notebook is only the starting point to trigger the mission, but the story takes place now. This is very important. The mission begins. Let's find Diana first. Learned that her child Hello was sick with high fever. We helped her find Dr. Fenner. When we found the doctor, he asked us to help him get the medicine. There are a lot of things in the box. First of all, letter paper. The letter is old and yellowing, but it's well preserved. Here's a little foreshadowing. Next is the observation report of the experimental subjects in the medical books. It is still yellowing. It means it's been a long time. It is also stamped with Hykros' seal. It can also be seen from here that Fenner is not an ordinary person. After taking the medicine, we followed the doctor to Diana. In our conversation with Fenner, we learned that Hello suffers from a chronic genetic disease. Fortunately, there is now a cure. But the risk is great. The little girl who used to be treated by Fenner for the same condition refers to the girl recorded in the notes. But at that time, Hykros' research was extremely confidential. The girl can only participate in the treatment as experimental subjects. Finally, the operation failed and she died. This has also become the shadow of Fenner's heart. With the encouragement of the protagonist, he decided to have a try. After all, the technology is more mature now. It can be seen from here that Hykros thinks highly of the omnium. They tried to use the omnium to treat the disease. Since the omnium has been used for medical treatment, it must be much more widely used in other aspects. Back to Hykros. We told Adax about it. Unexpectedly, he promised very happily. Then he said that Fenner used to be a researcher at Hykros and focused on the omnium medical treatment all his life. It seems that Dr. Fenner still keeps some secrets from us. What he said before was know the researcher. Trust a friend relationship. Do you remember talking about the unity of thought of Hykros before? Divided into pro-omnium and anti-omnium factions. But in addition to these two factions, there should be another faction. That is, the neutral faction. No matter what the argument is, there will be people who are neutral. Fenner obviously belongs to this group. Maybe he used to be a proponent of the omnium. But when the treatment of the little girl failed, he's a little confused, isn't he? So he chose to leave Hykros. Settled in a shelter. If it wasn't for Pello's condition, maybe this doctor will not get involved in the muddy waters of Hykros again. It can be seen that we don't know how many capable people who doesn't agree with Hykros' idea choose to leave or join the camp of the Heirs of Aida. After returning to the shelter, Fenner mentioned the past again and said the girl wrote a thank you letter. This is the letter we found in the box. Keep a complete yellowed letter. Esperia's copywriting is very rigorous in logic. There are back and forth correspondences in many places. After sending Pello to treatment. At this 1.4 the mission is over. The ending recorded in the notebook is that the girl is not getting better. Still aberrated. Then Hykros started the self-destruct program. This corresponds to the observation report of the experimental subjects in Fenner's room. It was only when he knew what happened to the girl that he chose to leave Hykros. Use omnium for healing but leads to aberration. It can be seen that Hykros already knew that the omnium could cause aberration. But they want to enjoy only the benefits of omnium and stripping off its disadvantages. The aberration of omnium can be traced back to Yuan Wang. Knowing that there is the possibility of aberration, but still choose to use the omnium. It's hard to guess what Hykros is thinking. Come to the Warren Snowfield. You can trigger 1.5 plot. The record is that the little boy called Samuel got the suppressor his brother studied. Notice the time here. 4 years after the cataclysm. That is, 2668 AD. Just in time for the launch of the suppressor. It's comfortable to fit the set. I found a Hykros employee card in the box next to it. It's the little boy's brother Manson's. Then we went to Hykros to find Adax. Pay attention to the conversation at this time. Found it in the stronghold of the Heirs of Aida. Does this mean that Manson has joined the Heirs of Aida? Adax also said he left Hykros more than a decade ago. It seems that there's a good chance for him to join the enemy. Adax commissioned us to investigate this matter. Be careful, it's a commission. Between the protagonist and Hykros. It's always been an equal relationship. It's just getting paid to do things. Came to Banjas and found a big change here. The shops have all been rebuilt. Of course, the previous address no longer exists. But luckily, we met the delivery guy. Accidentally got a letter from Manson to his brother. From Callie, I learned that the house was sold by his brother more than 10 years ago. Actually, this time is very sensitive. Manson left Hykros more than a decade ago. His brother sold his house more than 10 years ago. Moved to the mine. What happened in between? From the follow-up, we can see that his brother is looking forward to joining Hykros. But now he is living a muddle-headed life in the mine. Even incognito. The living environment of the mine is not good. From the sale of the house, we can see that his brother has some savings. Why did he choose to move to the mine? Mines are slaves except miners. The terrain is dangerous and the quality of life is not good. Choosing this kind of place is mostly to avoid what? So who on earth is his brother hiding from? When we came to the mine, we learned that his brother had changed his name. Now it's called Roger. Find the house where he lives. Pay attention to the conversation at this time. We call Roger. He answered. But we say that Samuel. He hesitated. When he learned that we had brought Manson's ID and letters, he remained silent. In the end, he said he doesn't know any Manson. You can see that Roger doesn't want anything to do with Manson. But he is deliberate or forced? We don't know. Since he doesn't accept the letter, the protagonist opened it. The letter describes the horror of the omnium and condemned Hykros' plan to study the omnium. It can be seen that inside Hykros, it's not as calm as it seems. The research of the omnium makes more researchers feel afraid. Let's talk about the ruins here. There are also some records in the ruins. When the researchers inside learned about Hykros' experiment, they also think Hykros is all crazy. Back to Hykros. Adax offers some more clues. The younger brother applied to join Hykros 30 years ago, but he was rejected because he was not old enough. Instead, he should be old enough by now. But why didn't he join Hykros? Let's sort out the plot. We found the ID card at the stronghold of the Heirs of Aida in Warren Snowfield. Then we learned that Manson's brother Samuel lived in Banges. When we arrived at Banges, I found Samuel moved to the mine. Found Samuel and found that he was not only anonymous, but also unwilling to admit his brother. Synthesize the above information. It is speculated that Manson finally left Hykros to join the Heirs of Aida. That's why we found an ID in Warren Snowfield. The younger brother's relocation is also influenced by the elder brother. This letter was not delivered, but Samuel made the decision to move. This means that Samuel must have got the news through other channels. He knew Manson joined the Heirs of Aida, so he didn't join Hykros after that. But he didn't choose the Heirs of Aida. Instead, he chose to move to the mine and muddle through. Maybe he doesn't understand why his brother has changed until death. This letter could have explained all this, but it's destined to be a tragedy. Got 1.6 mission on the outskirts of Banges. The eldest lady of the Hyena Gang. The note shows a man who was saved and joined the hyenas. This is the man I saw later, Prince. After receiving the mission, we found Dia hiding. She said she was being hunted by hyenas. Actually, she ran away from home. Next, we were commissioned to accompany her to Banges. Interestingly, she said that hyenas would be ambushed and scrapped in. If you come close, you will find that there's really an ambush gang of hyenas in there. Is it really good to reveal the secret like this? Just arrived in Banges. Prince caught up. Learned through conversation. Dia is the daughter of the team leader. Find Dia again. She confided the truth to us. Although she was born a member of the Hyena Gang, but she hates the hyenas. She doesn't agree with the idea that the hyenas misbehave in order to survive. It can only be said that she's less educated by the society. At post-apocalyptic days environment, sometimes you have to do whatever it takes to survive. Go back and find Prince. He said that he was worried that the eldest lady would run into the Heirs of Aida. It can be seen from here. The Heirs of Aida and the hyenas are not allies. And then think of when being in mine. The hyenas are still grabbing the cure. The relationship between the two sides is not good. The mission here came to an end. The end of the mission was when Dia was born. And the man on record is Prince. Because he was saved by the Hyena Gang. He take his son and join the Hyena Gang. The hyenas have always been bullied by us in the gang. Of course, they're not good people. This story fulfills the settings of the hyenas. They're poor people, too. Have a family and relatives. It's just that they choose a different way of life. At post-apocalyptic days, they chose to help each other. Do whatever it takes to live. Are they wrong? It must be wrong. Because they hurt people. But there's nothing wrong with them trying to survive. What's really wrong is Hykros. If there wasn't the cataclysm, wasn't the Omnium, maybe the world shouldn't be like this. No wonder so many people choose to join the Heirs of Aida. Intended to overthrow Hykros. Return to a time when there is no Omnium. Mission 1.7 Records and Exposition. The first stop is the space rift technology. We are no stranger to the space rift. Since an Astra with Shirley repaired the space rift together, we have been enjoying the convenience of space rift. Break up the human body and reassemble it. The space rifts everywhere are connected by a transport network of Omnium. This is interesting. Since the space rift is related to the Omnium, Asperia has used Omnium. What about Vera? What kind of energy does Vera use to maintain the space rift? In the introduction of Vera's space rift, we can see that the District 7 has made a structural transformation of it. What kind of energy is used to maintain the current space rift? Could it be float flaming or? The second stop is Banges' vehicle. Banges' tech relies on the vehicle information brought by Collidor. Developed little by little. These vehicles were all from before the cataclysm. But now the Omnium research is restricted. Restricted by whom? Dr. Claire is studying time retracement. But it also has to be a secret lab. It can't be disclosed. It can be seen that Hykros has very strict control over the use of Omnium. They are afraid that other organizations will also study the spatiotemporal characteristics of the Omnium. Walk in front of them. But the Heirs of Aida doesn't care what Hykros thinks. That's probably why, except for Hykros. Why only the Heirs of Aida is so good at space-time technology. But do you think restrictions can stop Collidor? Since Banges Tech cannot study Omnium. What about the artificial island? In the plot of 1.0, the person who is most underestimated is Collidor. Rich, skilled, and intelligent. Bai Ling also thinks highly of him. It's not too much to call him Musk in the apocalypse. Banges has a lending institution. King knows it very well. Collidor is also a divine being in Banges. Said he had no idea about Hykros. That's impossible. His wife died of a genetic disease. His son is sick too. Not only did he not contact Hykros, instead, he chose his own secret research. It can be seen that he doesn't trust Hykros. The layout of the artificial island is a great regret of Asperia's plot. Hyena Gang. The Ravagers have landed on the island. I have been waiting for the attitude of the Heirs of Aida to enter the artificial island. Maybe a lot of people forget. When the artificial island was publicized, there had a mystery visitor X. It is a pity that Asperia's plot is unreasonably sharply criticized. Players don't buy it either. So the case was finally abandoned. Like the headquarters of the Ravagers. Secret study of artificial island. The fourth plane where the Heirs of Aida went can only exist in copywriting. The development of tower fantasy up to now. The sense of fragmentation of the plot, I believe that everyone's feelings are getting deeper and deeper. Whether it is setting or the power camp, Vera, are independent of Asperia. Maybe that's what the production team had to do. The quality of Asperia is not bad. But to this day, some people want to dismiss Asperia as soon as it is mentioned. Recommend the newcomers not to play the Asperia plot. It seems very rational. In fact, it is totally wrong. Any game. It's impossible to be perfect in the early days. With the accumulation in the early stage, it was only then that there was an amazing explosion in the later stage. Dismissing the past completely is actually a negation to the past efforts of the production team. And because of that, I will keep digging for Asperia. I don't want their efforts to be wasted. They want to tell an apocalyptic story, but lack of production experience. Although the copywriting is good, the plot is mediocre. A lot of things they want to convey. Player can get it. Finally, because the game was urged to public test, entered the rush period. The backspur line didn't even have time to do it. The clues in the ruins have become declassified. But despite the ups and downs, the game survived at last. Can only look forward to one day in the future, when the production team is rich in production capacity. Can they make up the plot of Asperia? It's a little too far. Back to Banja's tech. We found Dr. V. I do suspect that Dr. V is Cobalt B. After all, we have been to this room too many times. After helping her collect the parts, learned that she was working on a suspended vehicle. In fact, everyone already has one. Do you still remember the vehicle brought from the artificial island? The tech token is used. The names of many items in Tower of Fantasy are not random. It's said in there. In this way, it makes sense to use tokens to get the vehicle. But what exactly are these notes and records? They don't just record information. We'll also follow the actions of the players, with new content emerging. The end of the diary is the Expo of 2663 AD. It can be seen that it was the heyday of the Omnium development before the Cataclysm. Maybe the old federal technology is much more powerful than we thought. It seems that the hidden mission will be divided into 3 parts. The next issue will analyze the notes of the time traveler. Where did it come from? And put an end to the series. That's all for this issue. Follow Xiaofeng. Take you to experience a different Tower of Fantasy.